Well, welcome, our brilliant and beloved colleague, Jordana. We so appreciate your consistent leadership and solidarity. And as always, at SETS, we begin all things by giving thanks to the original stewards of the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toiled without compassionate compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and community stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. So, Jordana, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and share a bit about your remarkable work?
My name is Jordana Wright, and I lead a tech startup, a Toronto-based tech startup called Activate Space. And if you are someone who is looking for an affordable rental in this just increasingly unaffordable real estate landscape, you should definitely stay tuned into this interview because a lot of what Activate Space does is partner up with large property owners who have excess capacity in their buildings or land that they can share for various purposes. And we take those properties and get them in the hands of organizations who are doing incredible work and just need access to space to do that work. So this includes things like affordable performance venues for emerging artists. So if you're an emerging artist and you need space for your next show and you're looking at local venues and you're seeing that it costs $5,000, $10,000 just to rent this incredible venue, but you don't have that, but you want to put on an incredible show, I can find you a church sanctuary that doubles as a performance venue with 1,000 seats for like $20 an hour. Like those are the sorts of relationships that are built through Activate Space, and those are the sorts of opportunities. Or if you are an emerging chef, we have affordable commercial kitchen spaces, and all of the food entrepreneurs who are tuning in, they've probably seen if you go to look for like a restaurant space to start your big thing, you have to sign on to this multi-year lease that costs so much and you're locked in, but might not be at that stage yet where you're ready to sign on to a multi-year commercial restaurant lease. I can find you a space in a beautiful commercial kitchen. You might have to share it with other food entrepreneurs, but it's affordable, it's beautiful. There's gymnasiums. So if you have recreation programs, I can find you an affordable gymnasium space, meeting rooms. There's outdoor spaces for urban agriculture. It just really runs the gamut. And a lot of the property owners that are engaged in Activate Space and supporting making these connections between organizations who have property and are looking to leverage it for social good and organizations that need property, a lot of them are churches and schools and local governments. And there are also increasingly just private individuals and organizations who own large portfolios, and they're just looking to do good and they just don't know where to start doing that. So we're just getting everybody roped into Activate Space, trying to come up with this really incredible directory of all the spaces that are available that can be accessed on the Activate Space platform at activatespace.io. I'm sure Victor will have the link in the description and all that kind of stuff, but we're just slowly onboarding all of the properties that we and property owners that we get to say yes to doing this. And it's just been an incredible thing to lead and incredible to see the connections that can be made.
That's incredible. Congratulations on such dynamic innovation and visionary leadership. So I really appreciate you sharing this with our community of practice. So my next question is, what's inspiring you right now? What has you curious or what's keeping you up at nights?
So the thing that's really been inspiring me lately has been just the reception that the platform has received. So for me, like a huge part of my job and my work is just tracking down and trying to meet with every organization and individual in Canada who is doing something of impact in the area of real estate and just figuring out, do you have even a room available that is available for like a single hour a day? We can connect an organization that just needs a room for that hour to do something incredible and impactful, and just going from person to person, organization to organization, and seeing the reception. Like a lot of folks in real estate, like they just get it. I'm not having to sell them on anything. I'm not a good salesperson, so I'm glad that's not the case. They just it's just about describing what the platform does and what the initiative is about. And as soon as they hear about it, they're just like, yes, how do I help? What do I need to do? Who can use these spaces? What would this agreement look like? It's more about the details and not explaining the issue. They know property is increasingly unaffordable. They know a lot of impactful nonprofits in their own neighborhoods are getting priced out, getting displaced. Everyone sees what's happening in major cities to small towns. This is just a thing that's happening Canada-wide. So many people have no access to the local real estate landscape, or they're getting, again, displaced left and right. And when a local nonprofit, let's say, that's doing incredible work in a community can no longer afford to be in that community, the entire social safety network that it has developed is completely gone. It's gone from that area. So it's so important that we create these opportunities for organizations to just stay in place and to do the work they do and to facilitate that along with property owners and also along with major foundations and corporate partners. And so many people have participated in Activate Space in different ways. And it's just been so inspiring to me just to hear the yeses and to meet with people that I didn't even know you could meet with, and to talk to them about the work and to show them how everything happens, and just to get that positive reception and to get that just, yes, where do you need me? What do I need to do? Has been so inspiring.
That's incredible. Congratulations again. Really
Thank
inspiring.
you.
So my next question is, what challenges and barriers do you and your colleagues face? And what are some of the approaches you're taking to overcome some of these challenges and barriers?
I think for me, the biggest challenge is so Activate Space, we are this like Canadian homegrown Toronto tech startup led by a young Black woman software developer. Like, it is just a small, scrappy group of people who are holding this whole thing up. So we are building something that we're hoping will be like on the scale in terms of impact or changing how things work in real estate of like an Airbnb, but an Airbnb for social good. So we're trying to build something very big and very bold. Like, this is not just a few properties. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of properties. Like, major denominations are signing on and saying, yes, we want our spaces up. We have 10 kitchens here, 20 gymnasiums there. Like, this is a lot of real estate. So it is challenging being like a small, scrappy organization and being kind of entrusted with millions and millions of dollars of real estate, thousands and thousands of buildings, and trying to do this thing in the best way we can. And we don't have a team the size that Airbnb has. We don't have a budget the size that Airbnb has, but we're making it happen and we get stuff done. And it's just, it can be challenging at time when you are so small, but we have the grit. I'm super scrappy, and I get those yeses in terms of property owners, and I find those incredible nonprofits and other social purpose organizations to connect with the spaces. And we're seeing a lot of traction and a lot of progress, but I'm just trying to right now navigate what it means to be a small, scrappy organization and likely founder kind of leading this big Canadian tech venture, and trying to make an impact and trying to do justice to all those agreements and all the property and everything that people have entrusted me with, and trying to do something really, really special.
Incredible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your candor. So my next question is, do you have a set of key priorities you'd like to amplify to our community of practice?
Priority and my biggest thing is collaboration. Like, everything I do is a collaboration. All of my greatest work, not just with Activate Space, but in general, has been through collaboration. Like, collaboration is my thing. And I think that Activate Space and initiatives like this that need collective action and collective impact to really make stuff happen. Like, there has to be just this strong commitment to collaboration and working well together. So I have all of these incredible organizations who have signed on and said, yes, we want to help tell us how to be there. And I'm just always trying to figure out the best way to collaborate with different organizations. One organization, for example, that I collaborate with frequently and I absolutely love is the United Church of Canada Foundation. And you've probably heard of them before. I think Sarah, the president of the foundation, was on one of your interviews, but I feel like I am just like this unofficial one woman street team for this foundation. I tell everybody about it. They just are the best. Like they just do exceptional work. They are some of the most high integrity people I have ever met, and they are just there to make an impact. So I've been able to work with them to find ways to expand the impact of Activate Space. They are the sorts of people that will kind of speak your name in rooms that you might not be able to get into. They will pick up the phone, they'll make the connection, they'll have your work on like top of mind and figure out how to help and to be there and to without any kind of expectation or requirement. I feel like this is going to be like a commercial for the United Church of Canada Foundation. But if you are able to work with them in any way whatsoever or pull them into an initiative that you're working on, I'm telling you, if you're a young founder, if you work with foundations, if you're into impact investing, philanthropy, anything like that, like collaboration is such a key priority for me. And I feel like my work with them has like forever shaped how I see and do collaboration because so much of what Activate Space has become so far has been just a product of that collaboration. And I've been able to bring so many additional people into the fold. But yeah, so collaboration is my big thing.
Incredible. And you're right. The CEO of Sarah is incredible. One of my favorite colleagues.
Yeah.
Doing some incredible work, especially around social purpose real estate. So I think the intersection between your work and theirs is such a powerful collaborative opportunity. And I agree with you completely. I've worked with them on a few projects and researched this in the past. Incredible colleagues to work with. So yeah, and Sarah was one of the community leaders that we amplified on our community practice channel. So thank you once again
Mhm.
for sharing that with our listeners and our viewers. So my second last question is, what is your ultimate goal? What does success look like and feel like to you and your colleagues?
Well, I think for me, one of my big goals is making sure that anyone anywhere in Canada, from the biggest city to the smallest town, can find affordable space nearby that they can access. Again, whether that's a kitchen, a gymnasium, a meeting room, whatever it is, there's this affordability crisis that we're in right now. And there is a lot of spotlight on how it plays out in terms of housing and housing ownership, and rightfully so. That is a huge issue. But there's also an affordability crisis going on where people from impactful organizations or impactful initiatives and businesses, like they can't find space either anywhere. And it's making it so a lot of the key like services and programs and things that we need to make a community whole and an incredible place to live and function well for everyone just cannot exist in certain places because those people can't afford to be there. It just they just don't exist anymore. So my big goal is just making sure that those key kind of essential people and essential programs that we need in neighborhoods can continue to exist. They can find space. And even if you're just like an individual, you don't own some or run a big flashy organization, you're just an individual starting out life and you just need a small office space to get your big idea off the ground. People like that too. I'm hoping to be able to connect with an office space nearby and just get people off on the right foot and allow them to pursue their big vision and to make an impact in their community. So that's kind of like my big thing, that everyone anywhere can find access to space. And also something else that's come up for me quite recently is so I like for me, success in addition to that stuff with Activate Space is like I come from a community where I am very like loved and encouraged and supported in different ways, and people make space so I can pursue my interests and figure things out and build incredible things that have had an impact in our community. And I'm pushed to do things, I'm encouraged to develop in my leadership, I'm connected with different things, and I've just, in the last little while, I've been trying to think of ways that I can do that for others. So I think for me, success is also, in addition to activate space, I want to try to find more ways to, maybe it's other young Black women in tech, maybe it's other people who are trying to build a big, bold vision that looks nothing like activate space, but it's their thing and it's their unique way of making something. Like, I just want to find more ways. For me, success would be finding more ways to help people, and the ways that I've been helped, to show people love and the ways that I've been shown love, because I feel like it's made such a big difference. And I've been able to do so much against so many odds because I have this like whole village behind me that's always cheering me on, even when I feel like I can't. I mean, it's difficult leading things this big and different and innovative. And when I feel like I can't do it on those days, like I always have this whole community that's like, yes, you can. We're doing this. So I want to kind of, I don't know what it will look like, and maybe there are people who are tuned in um, to your interview series who have like mentorship programs or ways to help support others who are trying to build something but don't have that built-in community like I happen to have. Like, I'd love to just kind of think about more of that going forward in my career. I feel like I'm at a point where I can start to do that for more people and think about what that would look like, and that would be success to me.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for those incredible sentiments. So my last question, do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for our listeners and our viewers?
Yes, so I have a few things. So the first is, if you are someone who is a property owner, property operator, have some sort of access to property or real estate, I'd love if you could get in touch and we can find ways to leverage your property for social good. If again, if it's just a single room you have that's available for a single hour on a Sunday afternoon, like that is something to someone. That is something to an organization, something to an individual who could leverage that hour to do something that like I couldn't even imagine. So if you have that, like if you're an individual, if you're a large organization who oversees a large portfolio, we have large denominations involved, we have all sorts of different organizations who are like saying yes to this. So if you can say yes, if you're in a decision making capacity and you have access to property you'd like to leverage for social good, definitely reach out and we can think about what that would look like through Activate Space. We're getting everyone in social purpose real estate across Canada who is doing anything of impact, anything of consequence, and trying to get them on this unified platform where we show everyone where the spaces are and we get people connected with it, because these spaces exist. They've always existed. I mean, they're usually talked about through word of mouth, like I have a space here that I can give you, a space there, but if you're not in the know, if you're not a part of that community, you will never hear about it. So it's so important that we have these open, collaborative, transparent platforms. So if you are that property person, and if you have even a single room, please reach out. And the other thing is, if you are someone who is in need of space, so you need a kitchen, a gymnasium, a meeting room, an outdoor space, if you need a performance venue, if you need space at all to do anything of impact that you're trying to do in your neighborhood to do social good, definitely reach out and I'll try to keep you top of mind as those opportunities come up. So if you're doing something incredible, I can make those connections for you. So for me, like the main call to action is just property related people and people who need space and making those connections. So if you're anyone in those categories, and also if you're anyone who likes supporting these sorts of initiatives and making connections and you think you could otherwise contribute, also get in touch. So those are my main calls to action.
Incredible. Thank you so much for your visionary leadership, diligence, and all that you're doing for so many. And as always, at Setsy, we close these conversations, these interviews, the way we began, by giving thanks to our creator, by giving thanks to the original stewards, the various lands we're on. We give thanks to all our ancestors, all those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We give thanks to all our elders and can be stalwarts whose shoulders we stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation and sovereignty. Thank you so much, Jordana. We so appreciate you and all that you're doing for so many.
Thank you, Victor.